So when you finally get the courage to put your prices up, what's the next logical thing that you're going to face? Well, now you got top prices. You're going to start getting price objections. And this is where some people fold like a fucking pack of cards. Someone goes, oh, that's a bit expensive. And it's the first ever time they've bloody heard it. And all of a sudden they come back and they comment on our adverts, they comment on our book, and they comment on this, that, and the other. And they say, you told me to put my prices up. And someone said, that's expensive. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm going to lower my prices and offer a discount immediately. That's not what you do. What we're going to talk about now is how to overcome common price objections. Because if you're charging premium fees, you're going to be faced with them. So, caveat: the worst thing to do is back down, get scared, and offer a discount to secure the work, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. That's absurd. Here's the thing. I mean, let me again some more caveats. Really, if you're marketing yourself properly, an effective marketing for premium services and products starts right on the front end. This stuff should run through your business like Brighton runs through a stick of rock. It's not something you plaster on at a certain stage. You suddenly introduce it. It's like Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce is quality right from the get go. Maserati is quality right from the get go. A Hermes bag, I don't know whether it's quality or not, but it's expensive. But it's exclusivity from the get go. Probably to the point where you can't just walk into the shop. You probably have to be let in, that kind of thing. So this stuff starts at the beginning. That's one caveat. And the other thing is you don't really overcome a price objection because often price objections are nothing of the sort. Here's a typical thing. That's expensive. That's not a price objection. That's a statement of fact. Well, rather, that's a statement of opinion.
It doesn't mean no either.
No, absolutely. Look, I mean, here's something on that topic. Here's something you need to understand. If someone is talking to you about your product or service and they are discussing the price in any way, shape, or form, it doesn't mean they don't want it. Right? Because if it did, they wouldn't be talking to you anymore. There's various things here, but often what it means is they want what you're selling. They just haven't quite seen the reason for paying that much money for it yet. So that's a good thing. And sometimes it's utter bullshit. So, right, it's a genuine example to illustrate the point from one of my clients. He had a guy come to him and say, I want to buy it was a larger number of headsets, about 100 or something. I can get them for £35 on this website. You're selling them for £55. What can you do about the price? And he went, oh shit, what do I do? I want to sell 100 headsets. It's a lot of money. And I said, well, you tell him to go to that website and buy them for £35 then. And he said, why? Are you insane, McCulloch? I said, well, the reason is, if he could get them for £35 and that was important to him, he wouldn't be talking to you about it. He'd be doing it. There is something about you and your service. I don't know what it is. I don't really care either. But there is something that's keeping him with you and saying, I want your quality, your product, your service, and their price. Now, maybe they didn't actually have the headsets in stock. It's easy to sell something cheap when you don't have it. All right. Maybe they didn't want to sell to him. Maybe they couldn't deliver in time. Maybe they have some weird kind of payment thing, like they need cash and he hasn't got the cash. He wants credit terms. I don't know. But the fact is, if he could get them for £35 a piece and that was important to him, he would be there getting them and not asking my client for a discount. So I said to him, just tell him no, go to the website. So the next thing he knows is they put in this order. They didn't even come back and reply to him. They just put in the order at £55 a piece. Well, that is the point, really. Often when people are seeming to object, they're not objecting at all. They're just trying it on. And especially in construction, you'll find they'll be there, poised above the contract. Literally, this has happened. And they'll look at you and they'll say, I'm not too sure about this. Is there something we can do about the price? And you go, oh, yeah, sure. Not a couple of grand off. No. You say, well, yeah, what we can do about it is I can put the price up or you can put the pen down and I can leave. Or you can sign it. Those are the three options. Which one is it going to be? And often they go, very funny, and just sign.
Yeah. They're just chancing it. People love the game as well. Some people thrive off, they make it their personality to try and get little discounts everywhere because they think they're smarter than everyone. You see it at restaurants all the time. They pretend to not enjoy the food, and they're like, oh, it wasn't that great. Maybe there's something we can do about the price. And they're just chucking banana skins. And if you choose to fall for their trap, think of it like this: they've looked you in the eyes, they've pulled a banana skin out of their pocket. In fact, no, they've pulled a whole banana out, they've peeled it, and they've eaten it, making eye contact. It's pretty weird. Then they drop the banana skin on the floor and they say, "Do you want to slip on that?" And most people in this scenario, they go, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I
all
want to
right.
slip on that banana skin." And they
Whee!
tread on it and they fall on their ass and they go, "Oh, that was good, wasn't it? At least I got the work." No, you fucking dingbat. If you got them that far, them throwing these banana skins that don't mean no. The only thing that means no is no. So stop interpreting these statements as no. As John says, when they say things like, "Oh, can we do something about the price?" Well, yeah, we can put it up. When you're putting in a quote,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not advocates of quotes, but we know a lot of people that listen to this do a lot of quoting, and they do a quote in someone's house and they hand it over and they go, "Well, that's a lot more than the builder down the road." Just say, "And
Yeah.
is it?"
And
Yeah,
yeah,
why do you think that is? And
that's
sometimes they'll
more.
say, "I don't know." And sometimes it's an opportunity to sell them on the value, especially if you say, "Why do you think that is?" Sometimes they start selling themselves. Well, they'll say, "Well, you got a nicer van and you are more professional and you actually do turn up on time." When he was late and cancelled our appointment 5 times. He's actually really unreliable, but you've been here on time every time. And perhaps you're more expensive because you seem to have far more product knowledge and a far bigger range of options. And all of a sudden, they start selling themselves into you, and you go, "Well, that's why I'm more expensive."
If you want to push that one, when they say something like "that's more than I wanted to pay," or "that's expensive," or "you're very pricey, you're more than anyone else," you can again look them in the eye if you want to. I don't always do it because I don't like making eye contact too much. But you can just say, "Yes, you're right. We are the most expensive builder, the most expensive whatever coach, whatever you are, consultant. We are the most expensive in our niche." And let me tell you why that is. Are you interested why that is? Well, then you're inviting them to ask you to tell them why you're so good. It's an opportunity.
Hmm.
Now, you've got to remember this, people. All right. Selling yourself cheap doesn't help. Ignoring a price objection won't work. And worse still is arguing about it. "You're very expensive." "No, we're not." Well, that ain't going to work. So it's far better to say, "Yes, we are fairly pricey, but there's a good reason for that. Do you mind if I tell you what that is?" Now, if you want to get really technical with this with people, and you can do, I would use different words, otherwise it can sound very 1970s. People want three things from any kind of service or product, and that is they want the best quality. They want their product or the service to do the job better than anything else. They want the Rolls Royce or the Maserati or whatever. Second thing they want is they want great service. They want to go to the fucking Ritz. Okay, they want to be treated like royalty. They want to be the most important thing in that fucking service provider or product provider's world. So they want great quality and great service. And they all want it at the lowest price. Well, you can tell people you can have any two, but no one can deliver all three. And if they tell you they can, they're either lying, mistaken, or they're a lot better at this than I am. So I suggest you go with them. Now, if you ask people which one do you want? You want shit service? Do you want shit quality product and service? A shit quality result, or do you want a low price? Which one are you most prepared to give up? No, most people will give up the low price. Like me. What do you want, John? Do you want great service with your eyes? Do you want a great result at the end of it? Or do you want to give up a low price? No, it's fine. I just want a low price. I don't care if you fucking tear my eyeballs apart and I get infected and it doesn't work. I just want a low price, please.
Often, as well, when you're in a specialty service, high price on its own just signifies that you're better, that you're going to do a better
Reassuringly
bit of work.
expensive.
Reassuringly expensive. That's what we want to hear. You want if everyone's saying yes to you, you've got an issue on your hands. You want to be welcoming. You want to hear price objections. One, so you can resell them on the value, but two, it shows you that you're on that sweet spot. If people are going and and ahhing over your price, and then they still say yes, that's a sure sign that you've got your pricing pretty spot on.
Yeah, I want to be with our pricing. This is for our business. I want about 20% of people to be saying to me, "No, can't afford it. Too expensive."
Yeah,
Fine.
off the bat.
I don't argue with people. I mean, there are some. Let's be very clear about this as well. You know, selling is neither good nor bad. It's neither moral nor immoral. It can be done immorally or morally. Now, I am not someone who, and there are people who do this, and I could name names, but I won't. But there are people who will encourage you to put it on credit cards, to sell things you already have. Well, let's have a look around your house to see what we can find. Do you have pensions you can cash in? I wouldn't do that. It's not me. All right. There's one person who encourages people to tell their clients it's okay to put it on a credit card. And then if you go bankrupt, we will honor our side of the contract. You won't have to pay it back to the credit card company because you're bankrupt, and Visa or MasterCard or whoever will end up picking up the tab. That's actually called fraud. All right. Again, I wouldn't do anything like that. That's just obscene. It's just disgusting. So we're very ethical. But we would not encourage people to get into debt to buy our services and our products. So when people tell me they can't afford it, I tend to take it at face value. Although I do ask the question, well, okay, look, you've told me for the last hour or so that you've got this burning problem and you've said you'd do anything to solve it. Now you're telling me you're not making enough money, you can't afford it. And you're going to come back to us because they always say, I'll come back to you when we can afford it. I say, well, what are you going to keep doing what you've been doing to get you to where you are now? What's going to change to suddenly get you making more money so you can afford to pay us? And apart from anything else, if that happens, if you change your business, all of a sudden you can afford to pay us, you won't need us anymore because you'll have solved the problem. It's almost like if you can afford core control easily, you probably don't need core control. Unless you've maybe come into some money, you've sold a house, you've been left money by a rich parent or something like that. That's a different matter. But for most people who are kind of in this feast and famine cycle or hitting this glass ceiling of sales, you're going to have to stretch yourself to work with us. If you don't have to stretch yourself to work with us, you probably don't need us in the first place. You just don't, It's like going to the gym. If you're lean and fit and healthy and dead strong, you don't need to go to the gym to get to be those things. You just need to maintain them. Well, they're two different programs, I'm afraid, and diets,